It was always coming, guys. It was always coming, and now it's here. Should Joe Biden have put himself forward for the second term? Yes. My name is Oluwasegun Ajayi, and I'm speaking on political updates around Teptv. First things first, we're talking about the US elections, which is happening in some few months' time. Now, Democrats actually stood behind their president, Joe Biden, who, of course, defeated Donald Trump in 2020 in the elections. That was more or less like the part one of their show-off. But one major thing that's striking is the fact that the two men, who look relatively old, appeared to look years apart during the presidential debates. For one, Joe Biden looked like somebody who was already older than his age, and then Donald Trump looked like somebody who was younger than his age, even though the difference between both of them is just like about 4 years apart. Now, let's go to the crux of the matter. The first things first is that earlier this year, there were a lot of conversations about if Joe Biden should even decide to put himself on the ballot at first. But I think the greed of every politician, where you have two terms, you have two opportunities to run for office, you've used the first term and then you still want to go ahead and take the second term, played a part and then made Joe Biden actually put himself forward for the second term. But if you're someone who pays close attention to US politics and you have seen the jibs around, you understand that all of the different trials that have been happening to Trump since last year, you could possibly point to fingers and say that they were political trials. But for whatever wonderful reasons, there was a way that the Republicans found a way to balance it in such a way that they could hold off the push through the courts so that Donald Trump would find himself on the ballot. Perhaps maybe they felt he was the strongest candidate that could go against Joe Biden one more time. And then, of course, the deed came last Monday about when they actually had the presidential debates. And despite the fact that Joe Biden, to cut him some credit, said some few good things, there were a lot of mishaps. For example, he made some mistakes, he was not able to get his thoughts right in some cases, and it was not a show, it was not an outing that made all the best for him, despite the fact that it was said that he had been in Camp David and he had been practicing for over a week, whereas Donald Trump came from a campaign rally down into the presidential debates. So it gave us more reasons to feel that a Donald Trump presidency was on the cards. And then, some Democrats have been calling on that perhaps Joe Biden should step down, perhaps this should happen, perhaps that should happen. But one major thing that we just want to just say is whether Joe Biden steps down or Joe Biden doesn't step down, which now officially he has decided to step down, and he has nominated Kamala Harris, who is his vice president, to take the nominee ticket for the Democrats. As regards who is going to get the nominee ticket for the Democrats, that will be in another section, another video. But today we're just talking about the fact that in the first place, Joe Biden should not have actually put himself forward. Perhaps the Democrats would have put themselves in a stronger position. But now when there's just 2 months, 3 months, 4 months to the election, it's becoming more difficult to find how whoever the candidate is, whether it's even Hillary Clinton, who was used against Donald Trump in 2016, or it is Kamala Harris. That's the reason why I said this particular one will cover in that video, where we're looking at the potential candidates who could fall in as a nominee. But what I'm trying to say now is that putting their weight behind somebody else, which of course will get them some necessary party votes, almost more or less secures Donald Trump's victory. And these are the reasons. Number one is that Donald Trump went against Joe Biden, who appeared to look like their best possible person on the ticket, and he cowed out, because obviously the reason why he's stepping down is because he kind of cowed out just after the first presidential debate. So while many persons were optimistic that he was going to bounce back in the second presidential debate, it now looks like as if there will be no second presidential debate. Number two also is the fact that most of the persons who could be on the cards, at least some of them, has been defeated by Donald Trump before. A practical example is Hillary Clinton. Then number three also is the fact that because there is going to be a new candidate, the person needs to start making consultations, reaching out to persons, something that Donald Trump possibly prepared 4 years for, which Joe Biden possibly prepared for over a year for, and then we are expecting that kind of person to work some magic in just 5 months. Perhaps maybe we could see another Peter Obi's effect that happened in Nigeria just last year. So to cap it up and to make sure that this video is not so long, this is a shocking news, but it was a news that was expected. How it's going to affect the US elections, I really don't know. some persons will feel that this more or less confirms Donald Trump's victory, which that's up in the air. But one thing that is very, very important is that in politics, there is a need for us to set aside our greed so that we can look at the bigger picture. And if perhaps this conversation was had a year ago, 6 months ago, then possibly the Democrats, or perhaps the Democrats, will be in a stronger position. Please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps the algorithm, YouTube. Also, please do not forget to drop your comments basically as regards all of the different conversations that we're having on this channel. Thank you very much. My name remains Oluwasegun Ajayi once again, and hope to see you next time.